Hey everyone, and welcome to Almost Cancelled. I'm Peter, that is Connor, and we are going to talk about Agents of S.h.i.e.L.D. Season 4, Episode 4. It's called Let Me Stand Next to Your Fire. Full spoilers for the episode, as always. We've been talking about how this season is, like, everyone's splintered, and
Yeah,
they're going to come back together, and that'll be like a big moment. This was kind of the first step in them, because I think physically, yes, there's some togetherness after this episode, but it's still not a full unified, we are happy to be together.
that's true. This is still earlier than I expected, though.
Hmm.
I mean, like we say every time, it's so fast paced now, Shield, and even though we know that, it still surprises me, like on a week to week basis almost.
Even the fact that Ghost Rider's like with Coulson and Mac and all that, it just feels, oh, well, okay, right there.
Yeah, he's almost part of the team by the end.
Yeah, it's interesting how quickly this show moves. But so Coulson and Mac go to meet Robbie's uncle in prison because they're trying to get information about the lab and what happened to these other people who are the ghosts and all that kind of thing. And it's as they're leaving, the Mac recognises Robbie going to see his uncle because we knew that he was going there from the last episode, and they have a pretty good car chase.
Do you know what's quite interesting?
Hmm.
Last week I mentioned how it was pretty good. They got some real motion in their cars,
Hmm.
and you mentioned how but it's quite easy to do when everything else is still because nothing else was moving.
Hmm.
Well, this time they pulled up, still looks great, has real sense of motion.
They did, and the funny thing is though it was still like, I don't want to make like reasons and like excuses for why they were able to do it, but they did it. It was just those two cars, like because they went down
Yeah,
that I don't know what you call it.
I don't know.
It's that thing you always see in LA. That stretch of like,
Yeah, I don't know what it is.
it's in
Do you know what,
Terminator Two. It's when Arnold grabs John Connor off the bike in Terminator Two.
I know what it is. I know what it is to look at. I don't know what it's
Yeah,
actually
yeah, yeah,
for
yeah.
though.
Whatever. And it's a pretty decent chase, and of course he crashes into the invisible Quinjet, and that ends the whole thing. And Coulson kind of talks to him, gives him a bit of trust, and asks him to come help. And they get an alert that an Inhuman is taking off his bracelet or whatever, which obviously connects to the other story, which is that Simmons is lured out to a house because she's house hunting for her and Fitz, but it's actually Skye who's like planted this house. Well, not physically planted the house, but planted the trail that leads to it, so that Simmons will go there
That means
because
the first point of a few in this episode where you're like, this is so clearly a setup of some kind.
yeah, there's a couple of things like that, yeah. So Skye, she gets medical attention because she's been shot. She gets shot between episodes. The poor girl. I mean, what are you going to do?
Do you know what? This is somewhere where obviously it cuts to the title screen on her,
Mm.
like revealing that she's been shot and the blood. I was sure it was going to do a 24 hours earlier thing.
All right, yeah.
I was really sure that's what it was going to do, and then it just carried on. I was like, okay, cool.
Yeah, that's fine. There's just like, oh right, some watchdogs on the way. I got shot. Because that's not even the reason why she gets Simmons. Really, the reason why she gets Simmons is she needs to get into the network so she can track down the Inhumans because the watchdogs are somehow tracking them down as well. And in fact, one of the biggest laughs I got in this episode is like Sky's like, right, we need to break into this facility, we need to do this, we need to do that, and Simmons just gets out the van, goes over and talks to the person going in, comes back and says, "That's that," and she's like, "What?" Well, I'm her boss, so she just
I just gave her this and told her there's new information.
yeah, that was good. Sky reacting to that was good fun, but they find out that the next Inhuman on the list is James, Hellfire from last season, one who could do the fire chains and all that, and the
Also, I
whatever.
just realized we just skipped over what was my actually biggest laugh of the episode.
Oh, go on.
It was when Sky's like asking for our help, and Simmons goes, "No, I can't. I take these lie detector tests. I can't voluntarily help you." And then she just picks up on it and pulls out the gun. It's like, what about involuntarily? It's like, oh yeah, now you're getting it.
Although I don't really feel like it will work that well because they immediately kind of smell at each other when they realise they've got around it, and then later on in the van and everything else, like there's no gun pointing whatsoever. Like,
No, I know.
we
I think it was just for the moment, so she could say I was at gunpoint, and she can say that truthfully.
dear. Everything else though after this, it's like she's clearly just doing it of her own free will.
Yeah. But that said, she could always just say, well, she had a gun. I thought she might get me with her powers.
True, true. Um, so they go to James, who's now working in a fireworks store, and Skye tries to convince him to join her cause because he's lost and whatever, and feeling like he doesn't belong in the world.
Yeah.
But of course, it's all a setup because he lures them to the watchdogs, and he's been a sneaky, inhuman uh, collaborator, if you will, where he's the one that's been letting them track down people through the signal in his watch, and he's sacrificing them and wants them to die. In fact, he even flat out said he wants inhuman genocide, and he'll be the last one to die. So he's like full on proper. This is my cause,
Yeah.
not job at this point.
Yeah.
And there's some good stuff here actually. I thought there was actually quite a nice bit of tension as because Skye's really hurt because Skye does that cool thing where she quakes the floor
Earth,
in
yeah.
it. Well, it's not quite the earth because they're on like
Ah,
a
yeah, yeah.
floor of a building, but yeah, and they all fall and they run off. But I thought there was some good tension. Is like James is stalking like the hall of like lockers, and they're like in one of the compartments like hiding. Plus,
I was a little bit confused how he knew exactly which one they were in.
um,
Like he threw the thing straight at the one they were in. I was a bit like, because they weren't making any noise. I don't know. I didn't really get it.
I don't know. Maybe he heard them. Maybe, because even when they first went in, I thought maybe it's obvious they've just went in one of these because you could hear the door slamming. At least the shutter coming down at the very least.
Yeah, yeah, I got that, but I was confused as to how it's the scene where where someone's like hiding in the bathroom and they like and there's the row of the cubicles and they smash them in all the doors one by one until they get to it. I thought it was going to do something like that, but it goes straight to the one they're in.
It may have just been a thing where they said, you know what, this doesn't make as much sense, but for the interest of time, we're just going to have him go straight there. Or, I don't know, like, as part of his power set that he can even sense heat, maybe? I don't know. They've never said that, but like, if someone from the comics would let us know, maybe he can just sense the heat coming from one of the rooms.
I'll take it.
There you go. But you cannot see as soon as he sets the chain on fire, I'm like, oh, I can see where this is going.
Yeah,
Because we know Coulson and Mac have tried to talk Robbie into come with them, and we've not seen them get here yet. Like, you know the moment that's going to happen, and of course Ghost Rider, or Robbie, he's not quite Ghost Rider yet, but he grabs the chain, and he sort of looks at it and goes, huh. I kind of like this. Chain on fire, this could be my new thing.
yeah.
And we get an interesting fight, them sort of, flaming balls at each other or whatever, and he does a transformation, he does that cool thing where he comes in like face to face, full flaming skull, but then they fall into the fireworks shop, and I love that Coulson just immediately goes, oh, two flame guys fall into a fireworks shop, who could have saw that coming?
I also love that Coulson made the we decided to fight fire with fire pun.
Yeah, and then says, that's a saying, which it is. I mean,
It is. I love how he's defending his pun making now.
there's something really magical about watching like a building full of fireworks blow up.
It is, because it's not just an explosion, it's colourful.
Yeah, it's like an explosion, then all the fireworks on top of the explosion. It's
Yeah.
it's fun stuff. But no, all of this was very. Again, it was very fast moving. It was very fun. It was moving the pieces around the board, but it was doing it in a very entertaining way. Because sometimes S.h.i.e.L.D. they'll occasionally have the episode where it's moving the pieces around the board, but it's it's obviously that episode. Whereas this, I felt it was more no. There's constantly entertaining stuff happening, and the character stuff that's happening is constantly fun.
It kind of was that episode, like you say, it was the episode where they start bringing people together.
Yeah.
But they did it through action pieces, which made
Yeah.
it more fun than usual when they have these episodes.
And it had good moments, Robbie grabbing the chain, or Skye using the quake powers for all the guys to fall. Like all these sort of really nice moments that made it feel like it was big and action packed. But
Even just the thing like when they go to have the car chase and Coulson won't let him drive his car.
yeah, just little fun beats like that. Yeah, spread throughout. It's really good. The one other thing, obviously, it ends with Coulson kind of convincing Skye that she should stick with them because they need to deal with this. Because the watchdogs, or not the watchdogs, the ghost lady and her people are looking for this book that could spell the apocalypse if they get a hold of it.
Yeah, no one really knows.
Yeah, it's a complete mystery, and we see that Ghost Lady goes to her husband who's in a coma, who's Robbie Uncle is the one who put in a coma, and that's why he's in prison. And she wakes him up because she can do that.
That's the one part of the episode where I went, "Ooh, that CGI doesn't look great."
Well, her
when she
hands
put
were on
her
his head.
fingers in the head. Yeah, I was like, that just looks a bit off.
I think, because it's a ghostly thing, it just inherently looks a bit goofy, depending on how you play it.
I get that, but it just didn't look good. Whereas a lot of the other stuff does. I don't know.
Yeah. The car chases, the Ghost Rider. I mean, I think when it comes between this, have a good Ghost Rider face and have good hands going in the head, they pick
No,
wisely.
I'll take Ghost Rider any day.
Yeah,
But it was still noticeable.
sure. So yeah, so that's all developing, and Skye kind of reluctantly agrees, although she thinks the watchdogs are still something that needs to be taken care of for the sake of Inhumans, and I'm sure we'll get to that. I'm sure the plots will converge, and maybe that'll even be more the second half of the season where they finally take on the because maybe the watchdogs do something like maybe because obviously we said that the first episode of this, or maybe the second one when they did the blackout, it felt like they really upped the game and they felt like a threat now. Maybe they up the game again and they feel like, oh no, right, this has to be taken care of now. This is mission one.
Yeah, because in this case it was like, right, we're going to deal with this stuff, but I have priority. Something's come up. You can see it getting to a point where the watchdogs are, hang on, priority, something's come up, we have to deal with this.
Yeah. So that's good. Of course, the other subplot that we've not mentioned yet is May waking up and being seen to by Ada, and Fitz like panicking because she shouldn't, because May can figure it out. And at one point, May says something in Chinese, and Ada translates it, and she's like, "Oh, you speak Chinese? Where are you from?"
And she goes, oh, most of me's Chinese.
And I shouldn't say Chinese; I should say Mandarin, but you know what I mean. Same difference.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that's all fun stuff, and Fitz freaking out. Although my favourite part of all of that, though, is that when Simmons comes in and meets her at the end, she immediately goes, "Oh, it's an android."
I don't know if she would have got it anyway, but as soon as he introduces Ada, and she's like, hang on, I remember Ada.
Yeah.
And then, because you just see her give Fitz that look.
Yeah.
It's a lot of fun.
Nah, it's great, because she pulls Fitz over to the side, and it's almost like because Fitz has been hanging out around here a lot, so you could almost read the start of this conversation as she's maybe being jealous or something. And I know she wasn't, but it almost could play like that, where she's like, "Oh, she's really beautiful."
He even takes it that way.
He's like, "Yeah, I guess, but I prefer a classical beauty, me."
Yeah.
And then she starts talking about her parts and how she's built and her programming and all that, and it becomes clear what she means. But it just that was a really fun thing. But that's actually the moment we end on is her being like, "Oh crap, I've got a lie detector test tomorrow," and not only do I have to lie about this, everything that happened with Skye is now subject to a problem. So that'll obviously be one of the plots that we have next episode.
I was gonna say.
I know the pacing's going to slow down dramatically if we're not getting to that to next season. Oh.
I'll tell you what, I also really like them using May for the Turing test. Like, nah, look, if we can fool May, we can fool anyone.
Yeah. May's the one who would suss it out.
Yeah.
Oh, I can't wait for the moment where May finds out she's not. Oh my
no.
god.
She's like, hang on, I was treated by that.
She is. Oh, it's going to be so funny.
She's going to be furious at herself for not seeing it.
Her reaction to finding out she was tricked by a robot is going to be phenomenal. Oh my god.
It really is.
I cannot wait for that now.
Maybe this show will surprise us and give it us next week.
Maybe next week. Knowing this show, I won't put it past it. Okay, that's S.h.i.e.L.D. Good episode. I enjoyed that one. So let us know what you thought of the episode in the comments below. Like and subscribe and all that stuff. It helps us out a lot. Thank you very much for watching. Yeah, we'll see you next time, guys.